In the heart of Port Harcourt, where the Niger Delta's humid breeze carried the scent of crude oil and roasted plantain, there was a small but famous clinic called Obi's Hope Medical Center. The clinic, nestled along ABA Road, was run by Dr. Ngozi Okonkwo, a sharp-witted Igbo doctor known for her no-nonsense attitude and a heart as big as the Orisha River. People from Rumokoro to Diobu whispered about her ability to solve the strangest medical mysteries, but nothing could prepare her for the case of Chimaobi Eze. It was a sweltering Tuesday afternoon, the kind where the sun seemed to sit on your shoulders. The clinic was buzzing with patients, mothers cradling babies, Okada riders nursing bruises, and market women complaining of aches. Dr. Ngozi was in her office, her stethoscope dangling like a talisman, when Nurse Amoka burst in, her eyes wide as saucers. "NNE, you need to see this patient now." Amoka panted, clutching her clipboard. "It's Chimaobi from 𝐾𝐨𝐜. He's different." Dr. Ngozi raised an eyebrow. "Different how? Malaria? Typhoid? Or is he one of those ones that drank fake ogogoro again?" Amoka shook her head, her braids swinging. "No, doctor. It's his legs. Something is not right." Curiosity piqued, Dr. Ngozi adjusted her glasses and strode to the examination room. There, sitting nervously on the bed, was Chimaobi Eze, a lanky young man with a face like he'd seen a ghost. His wrapper was tied loosely, and his legs were crossed tightly, as if hiding a secret. The room smelled faintly of palm oil and something ancient. "Chimaobi, kidu aichi no him?" Dr. Ngozi asked, her voice calm but firm. "What's the problem?" Chimaobi swallowed hard, his Adam's apple bobbing. "Doc, I don't know how to explain it. It started last week after I went to the Okrika waterside. Something is growing between my legs." The room fell silent. Nurse Amoka gasped, clutching her crucifix necklace. Dr. Ngozi, unfazed, motioned for him to lie down. "Let me see," she said, snapping on her gloves with the precision of a warrior preparing for battle. Chimaobi hesitated, then slowly patted his legs. What Dr. Ngozi saw made her heart skip a beat. Between Chimaobi's legs, nestled against his skin, was no ordinary sight. It wasn't a rash, a tumor, or anything she'd studied in medical school. It was a tiny, shimmering fish scale, glowing faintly like the moon on the Bonny River. And it was moving, pulsing, as if alive. "Chinik," Dr. Ngozi whispered, her scientific mind wrestling with what her eyes beheld. "Chimaobi, how did this happen?" Chimaobi's voice trembled as he began his tale. A week ago, he'd gone to the Okrika waterside to fish, hoping to catch enough to sell at the Mile 1 market. The river was unusually calm that night, the stars reflecting like diamonds. As he cast his net, he heard a voice, soft, melodic, like the songs his grandmother, Nneka, used to sing during moonlight tales. It called his name, Chimaobi. "Chimaobi. I thought it was my mind playing tricks," he said, his eyes distant. "But then, I saw her, a woman, floating on the water, her skin like polished ebony, her eyes like fireflies. She said she was Mami Wata, the river spirit, and that I trespassed on her sacred waters." The room grew heavy with the weight of his words. Nurse Amoka crossed herself again, muttering, "Tufiokwa." Chimaobi continued. "She said I'd taken her fish without permission, and now I must bear her mark. I begged her, Doc. I offered to return the fish, but she just laughed and vanished. The next morning, I felt a strange itch, and then this scale appeared." Dr. Ngozi's mind raced. Mami Wata. In Port Harcourt. She'd heard the stories growing up in her village in Anambra, tales of the river goddess who blessed or cursed those who crossed her path. But this was 2025, not some ancient folklore. Yet, the scale was real, glowing brighter now, almost mocking her medical degree. Chimaobi, she said, her voice steady, we need to act fast. This is beyond medicine. We need to consult someone who understands the old ways. That evening, Dr. Ngozi and Chimaobi drove through the chaotic streets of Port Harcourt, past the neon signs of Oil Mill Junction, to the home of Dibia Okudili, a revered traditional healer in Borakiri. The old man's compound was a jungle of herbs and totems, with a fire burning under a mango tree. Okudili, his eyes like pools of ancient wisdom, listened to Chimaobi's story, nodding slowly. Mami Wata has chosen you, Okudili said, his voice like gravel. The scale is a mark. If you don't appease her, it will grow, and you will belong to her waters forever. Chimaobi's face paled. Belong to her. I just want to fish and live my life. Okudili handed him a small pouch of herbs and a carved wooden amulet. Return to the river tonight, he instructed. Offer this to Mami Wata, speak her praises, and beg for her mercy. But you must go alone. Dr. Ngozi protested. Alone? In the middle of the night? What if? Okudili raised a hand. Science cannot fight spirits, Ngozi. This is his journey. That night, under a moonless sky, Chimaobi stood at the Okrika waterside, the pouch clutched in his trembling hands. The river was still, too still. He whispered the praises Okudili taught him, Mami Wata, Queen of the Deep, Mother of Rivers, forgive my ignorance. He sprinkled the herbs into the water and held the amulet aloft. The water rippled. Then, she appeared, Mami Wata, radiant and terrifying, her tail shimmering with scales like the one on Chimaobi's leg. You have honored me, she said, her voice echoing like 1,000 waves. But know this, my mark will remain as a reminder. Respect my waters, and you will live. With a splash, she was gone. Chimaobi checked his leg, the scale was still there, but it no longer glowed or pulsed. It was just a scale, a silent warning. Back at Obi's Hope Medical Center, Dr. Ngozi documented the case in her private journal, her pen shaking slightly. She'd seen the impossible, and it changed her. From that day, she kept a small shrine to Mami Wata in her office, just in case. Chimaobi. He still fished, but he never went to the river without an offering. And so, in the heart of Port Harcourt, where science and spirit danced an uneasy truce, the tale of Chimaobi and the mysterious scale became a legend, whispered in markets, churches, and beer parlors, a reminder that some mysteries are bigger than any stethoscope can diagnose. If this story touched you or made you wonder, then hit that like button, subscribe, and share with someone who still believes in spirits. More shocking African stories are coming.